It is the 21st of March 2017. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, I'm just sitting with my friends. We're sitting, having a chat, reminiscing about how difficult it was at varsity. We all have cars, townhouses, we meet here, going to have a bride. Everything is set. The music, oh, munye, let's go, munye, let's go. Everything was going to go well. The question was, what could go wrong? I'm teasing my friend here, Sibusiso, about how he used to eat colored popcorns. He's now a CA, but he's thinking of studying psychology. Psychology? Bro, you have time to play. It's time to make money. My other friend is talking about Forex. And at this time, my mother calls me. You see, she always refers to me as Bonnie Bonnie, Bonnie Bonnie, in an affectionate way. But this time around, with a low voice, Bonnie, my son, your brother is not feeling well. I said to my mom, Mama, if I have to come to the hospital, I'll come now. She says to me, no, we're just taking your brother to Yusuf Dadu. I don't think this is a big issue. Enjoy with your friends. And we go on with the business of the day. But on the 22nd, I was at work, going through my mails, trying to catch up, preparing for my next meeting. And I received a call. My mother on the side. Bonnie, my son. With a deep breath, she informed me, your brother, Joshua, has just passed away. We just got the message. I couldn't believe it for a second. I never had to bury my brother or any siblings that I had. It was always a funeral of that uncle who stays somewhere in Limpopo. But now it was at home. I packed my laptop, went straight to the parking lot, got into my car, drove home. Questions, could this be true? And I arrived at home. When I entered the house, it was clear something was wrong. The whole atmosphere, I looked at my mom's face, I looked at my father's face, my brother and my sister. I saw people overcome by grief and sadness. And my mother relayed the story. Bonnie, it was yesterday. We thought it was not a big issue. We took your brother to Yusuf Dadu. And they told us this morning that while he was there, during the night, he was struggling to breathe. And they sent him to Lerato Hospital. And upon arrival, the doctors couldn't resuscitate him. And sadly, he died. Now my mom says to me, you and your brother and your father have to drive to Lerato Hospital to go take some of his clothes and identify him. I was broken. How can you ask me to do such a thing? But I had to do it. I couldn't expect my mother to do it. As we drove to Lerato in the car, there was just utter silence. I've never seen my father so broken. I looked at his face. I looked at my brother. I continued driving. And we drove to Lerato. As we arrived there, at casualties, we are welcomed by a young doctor. He greets my father, Mr. Matlala, how are you? Please come this way. We are taken to a room. And this gentleman says, it was about 3 a.m. when he was brought here. We tried our best. Sadly, we couldn't resuscitate him. He takes a piece of paper and says, Mr. Matlala, please sign here so that I can take you to the mortuary where he's kept. We signed the document. We hand it over to the doctors and the staff. We are now walking to the mortuary. I can't believe this. Devastated. As we arrived there, my brother's lifeless body is there. Is this him? The man who works there is looking at his time. He needs to knock off. We look at him, lying there peaceful. I said, yes, it is him. As we left, driving back home, devastation, utter silence. as we went home and the funeral arrangements began. People calling us, is it true? Is your brother late? Did he pass on? And it was our job to say, yes, it is true. But eventually he was buried at Limpopo, in our village, just next to my grandfather. This reminded me that even though my brother was 2 years older than me, extremely uneducated because he didn't even finish matric, and I hold a degree and going for my next degree, it showed me that if this guy who was sleeping on the floor in the dining room with me, who shared the same breast milk from the same woman, who comes from the same womb that I come from, has passed on, then it doesn't matter how handsome I am, it doesn't matter how educated I am, it doesn't matter how many degrees I'm going to have, one day I am going to die. Sure. And I took time to reflect, to say, what is the best life I can live? The speaker who came before me mentioned Steve Jobs. When he was speaking, having been conquered by cancer and knowing that death is imminent, he says these words to a group of Harvard students. If there's anything you want to do and you are scared to do it, at least be reminded that one day you are going to die, and take courage and do it anyway. Because on the other side of life, there's no happiness, there's no wealth, there's no health, there's no education. So I challenge you, why are you bothered by how many people think you're cool on Facebook? Why are you worried about how many people like your pictures on Facebook? Those people don't even matter because they're also mortal. So I implore you to take time and reflect on your life, because I can assure you that my brother died, I'm going to die, you are going to die. So whatever you want to do, imagine if you knew you had 5 days to live, the quality of decisions you're going to make, the quality of discipline you're going to keep or maintain, because you know that your time is limited. So I implore you to be the best you can be, because one day you are going to